What's up, y'all? All right, you all, what's up? Oh, I forgot to do one thing. I'll play it again. I'll save it. Oh man, I'll save it. Um, yes. So today's title is "Don't Let Them Off the Hook." A friend of mine did a live, and me and my other friend been talking about this, and I came to the conclusion, or we came to the conclusion that these people want us to forget the last 4 years. I believe this whole Kamala thing is a way for us to forget what has taken place over the past 4 years because these people know this is going to happen again. So they want to be able to plead ignorance a second time. So I haven't let up. Many of you all haven't let up, but these people are trying to get us to be quiet. They're not getting us to want to be quiet because we're lying. They want us to be quiet because they know if they hear the truth, they're going to be held accountable. You see, we assume that these people don't know. These people know. And you know how you know they know? When you present the truth to them, what do they say? When you present the truth to these people, what do they say? They say things like, I don't care. Trump can't be president. I'm not voting. Think about it. They don't refute the truth. They don't say you're lying. They don't try to disprove it. They just say they go to something else. That lets you know that their intentions are evil and wicked. If I come to you and I expose the truth and I tell you that the people that you've been listening to have been lying to you, and I prove it, at that moment, if you don't get mad at the person that lied to you, but you get mad at me, then that lets me know that you're complicit. You see, most of these people are complicit with the lie. Most of these folks don't mind getting lied to. They don't mind getting tricked. They don't mind getting deceived as long as they can get what they want out of the deal. But I keep talking about you can't make a deal with the devil. It's never going to turn out right. Never. Just ask Eve. Just ask Adam. Because Adam ultimately made a deal with Satan by making a deal with Eve. Adam made a deal with Satan by making a deal with Eve. So I'm letting you know now that the devil is going to use a woman to get to a man because what the devil is offering isn't practical to a man. It goes against a man's nature. The devil's going to come into the room and just say, man, off yourself. Take yourself out. Man going to be like, what? To a woman, that may sound viable. These women are more emotional. So deleting themselves sounds optional sometimes because of the chaotic nature of the woman, the emotions. But a man, when Satan is talking to a man, it's going to sound crazy. Then it becomes to steal, kill, and destroy. Even with abortion is marketed to women for a reason. It's in a man's nature to want to extend his legacy, to plant his seed, to let his name carry on. That's in a man's nature. Abortion goes against the very nature of a man, which is why they push it to women. If abortion was marketed towards men, it would be a lot more pushback. Like if all the propaganda was evened out between men and women, it'd be a lot more pushback. Because you would get men saying, wait a minute, you want me to do what? Because this would be abortion added to the plate of other things. So like the economy, the government, all these things that men are looking at, and you add in, you want me to reproduce, it's going to sound crazy. So we are not going to let them off the hook. And that's what they want. They want people like you and I to be quiet and not say anything so that when round two comes around, they can plead ignorance. Now, keep in mind, that first go round, the people terrorized us. You couldn't go into certain businesses. People lost their job like myself. People lost whole careers. I used to be in education, couldn't do that. I used to be in film and television, couldn't do that. So think about it. I got put out of 2 industries. One time, I got put out of 2 industries. All because I said no. But everybody that complied made it harder for those that said no. So again, these people terrorized us. I listen to people lie. They lying today. You know how many lies I hear a day in regards to Trump? They can't tell me anything positive about Kamala, so they just lie on Trump. I had a family member tell me yesterday, you don't speak for Black people. I had a family member yesterday arguing with me about immigration taking jobs from Black people. And I don't want to use the word taking jobs. It adds an extra layer of competition for Black people. Because what's happened now is that Black people now have to compete with not only the Hispanics, not only the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z, but you also got to compete with immigrants, illegal immigrants. So again, it adds extra layers of competition that wouldn't otherwise be there. In most other countries, the competition is among the people there. But in America, it's different. In America, you got folks coming from India, folks coming all over the world. And guess what, Black people? They're doing your jobs. But anyway, my cousin was arguing with me, saying that immigration don't affect Black people because Black folks don't want to work. Think about this now. Think about the logic behind immigration doesn't affect Black people because Black folks don't want to work. But I said, okay, but most Black people are employed. So how do you think most Black people are making money? She says, oh, they own their own business. There are 161,000 Black businesses in America. 97% of them don't have any employees. There are 42 million Black people in America. So that means there aren't that many jobs, or entrepreneurial endeavors that Black people are involved in. It's just not. Most Black people work for somebody. The vast majority, 99 plus percent, work for somebody. And they work for a job that doesn't require a college education. So I'm trying to break this stuff down to her, and she's not trying to hear it because she wants Kamala to be president. So what I'm telling you is, anybody vouching for Kamala or advocating for Kamala is already working for Satan, because you have to lie to do it. You got to lie and be dishonest and be deceitful and be deceptive to get somebody to vote for Kamala. You can say what you want to say about voting, politics, Trump, or whatever, but for you to tell somebody to vote for Kamala with a straight face, you have to literally be working for Satan. Ms. Graves said offering a job at lower wages to an illegal affects everyone. Remember, this has happened already. But here goes the catch, Ms. Graves. They're not offering these people less wages. These illegal immigrants are working at regular jobs. These illegal immigrants don't have to go under the table anymore. Those days are over with. These illegal immigrants are working at regular jobs. They don't have to do all this, pay them under the table, pay them less. These illegal immigrants are coming to this country and making the same money. So what's happening now is because what they did was they said, if you're an illegal, you're an asylum seeker, you're a migrant, you're a refugee, you have access to the same rights and benefits that Americans do. So all of that under the table, we got to hide and sneak, days are over with. Those illegal immigrants coming over here and they're working regular jobs. They're working regular jobs. So again, the times have changed. The times have changed. But this old Kamala thing is a smokescreen. And it's a way to make us ignore the past 4 years. These Democrats were in office and they were terrorizing us. Joe Biden got on TV and said, my patience is wearing thin. Why aren't y'all getting these shots? The lady at the European Union said it was 150 million Europeans that didn't get the shot. She said, next time we got to use force. She said, next time we got to use force. I just saw something today where somebody tweeted, see if I can pull it up. See if I can pull it up. It won't let me pull it up, but let me see if I can do it this way. Because I think if I... Anyway, it was basically saying that the Taliban issued some new rules or laws where women can't show any skin, they can't speak in public, and it was something else they couldn't do. And I wish I had it. Let me see. Taliban new laws for women. Let me see. Okay. Let's see what CNN says. Let me see. Among the new rules, Article 13 relates to women. It says it's mandatory for women to veil her body at all times in public, and that a face covering is essential to avoid temptation and tempting others. Clothing should not be thin, tight, or short. Women are also obliged to cover themselves in front of non-Muslim males and females to avoid being corrupted. A woman's voice is deemed intimate and so should not be heard singing, reciting, or reading aloud in public. It is forbidden for women to look at men they are not related to by blood or marriage, and vice versa. So, in other words, it's a 114-page document, and but anyway, my point is these libtards are advocating for people to do this. So, in other words, these libtards would never go live in these countries. But yet over here, they would fight and advocate for groups like Hamas and the Taliban. So when I read the person's tweet, I thought about it and I said, how are they going to get these Muslim countries to comply with all this stuff? Then I realized it. They're going to have, remember like the Holy Wars or the Crusades? They're going to have that with the UN promoting DEI. So diversity, equity, inclusion, they're going to use troops to sweep across the globe and make sure everybody is diverse, equal, and equitable. No, diverse, included, no, that's deep. Diverse, so diverse, equitable, and inclusive. They're going to use the UN troops to sweep across the globe and make sure that everybody is playing fair. That's the only way. They're going to use the UN troops to do it. And the UN is going to start right here in America fighting racism. But I wanted to read something. And it's the Well, let me play this first. Let me play these clips first. Let me play these clips. Something just ain't right. It just ain't right. Okay, let me find these Neanderthals. Let me find these Neanderthals. Oh, man. Okay. Let me see, y'all. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find the clips of. Let me play this one. I'll just play this one because I can't find the other ones.
My name is Corey Wise. 35 years ago, my friends and I were in prison for a crime we did not commit. Every day as we walked into courtroom, people scream at us, threaten us because of Donald Trump.
So let me get this straight. People were yelling at you in a courtroom because of Trump and not because of the Democrat DA who prosecuted you, the Democrat? And not because you were coerced by police to make a confession? And not because the parents of Antron McCray directed him to own up to the crime? Not because of any of that, right? It was because of Trump. So we have a confession that you were coerced to do, and Trump believed it, and they were yelling at you in a courtroom because of Trump? And now people are going to say, well, Trump didn't apologize. This man just said people were yelling at him in the courtroom because of Trump before they were even exonerated of anything. So they were yelling at him in the courtroom because of Trump before Trump was even asked to apologize. Make it make sense. Like, who wrote this guy's speech? At least make it logical. But when you're speaking to a crowd who has a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome, they're not going to think logically. He just blamed Trump instead of the DA. Meanwhile, Linda Fairstein is just out here living the life of Larry while Trump getting all the heat. This is why I say a lot of y'all are not pro-black. Y'all are pro-Democrats.
That was starring Amber, and she brings up a great point. And what she's saying is that you all are blaming Trump for the Central Park Five as if it wasn't a whole trial, if it wasn't like not a trial, but as if it wasn't police involved, if it like as if it wasn't a judge that had it out of sentence. Like, think about what they're doing. When we talk about this anti-white agenda, but think about what they're doing. They're trying to put the sin, and this is Satan. Satan is trying to put the sins of America on Donald Trump. The same way that Christ took the sins of the world, they're trying to do it. Satan's trying to do it with Trump. We're going to attach everything bad to Donald Trump. And once you do that, the heathen mind, the average person thinks, well, if Trump has all the sins, then I'm good. If I can point my finger at Trump, then I'm good. I'm born again now. I'm morally righteous now. This is what Satan is doing. This is what Satan is doing. He's trying to tie everything to Donald Trump. The Central Park Five were out there where they shouldn't have been. They were out there cutting up and they shouldn't have been. I don't know if they did it or not, but they were out there. They confessed. They took plea deals. So Trump wasn't the only one that thought they were guilty. Many New Yorkers were upset what happened to that jogger. Many of them. So at the end of the day, many simple minds are going to let Satan use them. You can't put the sins of America on Donald Trump. You can't tell me that the Joker is bad but let's elect the penguin. You can't tell me that the Joker is bad, but let's elect Bane. That's what they're doing. They're telling you that Trump is bad, so let's pick Mr. Freeze. Trump is bad, but let's get another villain. This is insane. These folks trying to push Kamala Harris. And I got family members arguing with me about her being black. I'm like, her father said he isn't black, and her mother isn't black. So how is she black? I said, when Tiger Woods said he was Globalism, y'all said he was a sellout. Now you're saying she can be Indian and black? It's cap. The only way to advocate for Kamala Harris is to make a deal with Satan. You got to lie, you got to cheat, you got to steal, you got to deceive. It's the only way. Right, poison ivy. They're trying to get you to say that the Joker's bad. The Joker's bad. We don't need him. But let's pick these folks out of these folks over here. You got the Penguin, Mr. Freeze, Bane, Scarecrow, Poison Ivy. This is what they're doing. They're trying to make you pick the lesser of two evils in a metaphorical sense. It's crazy. There's no, and I'm gonna say this too. If Kamala Harris was a black man with a white wife, this wouldn't even be a discussion. Joe Biden would still be running. Or Gavin Newsom or whoever, Big Mike, whoever. If Kamala Harris was a black man with a white woman, this wouldn't even be a discussion. You know it and I know it. You know it and I know it.
Wanted us unalive. He wanted us dead.
People screamed at us, threatened us because of Donald Trump. He spent $85,000 on a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for our execution.
Today we are exonerated because the actual perpetrator confessed and DNA proved it. That guy says he still stands by the original guilty verdict. He has never changed and he never will. I want you to walk with us. I want you to march with us. I want you to vote with us.
These people are telling you to vote for someone that if given power, she would mandate shots for the rest of your life. We just lived through the past 4 years of these Democrats. You think they was crazy that this last time, they are going to be insane if she becomes president. Insane. You couldn't hold Joe Biden accountable. You won't be able to say a word about Kamala Harris. Every social media site will be taking down accounts, posts, shadow ban, everything for even mentioning the truth about Kamala Harris. Yes, we got to secede. A national divorce. I don't want to be around these people. My cousin said, you don't speak for black people. You are 1,000% correct. I don't. Because Satan speaks for black people. I don't. Satan does. So you're 1,000% correct. I don't speak for black people. Let's read what Trump's letter actually says. Not letter, but ad in the newspaper. Let's read it. Because they keep telling us that Trump called for their execution. Here goes Trump's letter. The title of the letter says, Bring back the death penalty. Bring back our police. You know what's funny? Trump was the first one. That's like it's almost like clickbait, right? It's almost like I'm gonna get your attention. You know, use the title to get your attention. What has happened to our city over the past 10 years? What has happened to law and order, to the neighborhood cop we all trusted to safeguard our homes and families, the cop who had the power under the law to help us in times of danger, keep us safe from those who would prey on innocent lives to fulfill some distorted inner need? What has happened to the respect for authority, the fear of retribution by the courts, society, and the police for those who break the law, who wantonly trespass on the rights of others? What has happened is the complete breakdown of life as we knew it. Many New York families, white, black, Hispanic, and Asian, have had to give up the pleasure of a leisurely stroll in the park at dusk, the Saturday visit to the playground with their families, the bike ride at dawn, or just sitting on their stoops, giving them up as hostages to a world ruled by the law of the streets, as roving bands of wild criminals roam our neighborhoods, dispensing their own vicious brand of twisted hatred on whomever they encounter. At what point did we cross the line from the fine and noble pursuit of genuine civil liberties to the reckless and dangerously permissive atmosphere which allows criminals of every age to beat and rape a helpless woman and then laugh at her family's anguish? And why do they laugh? They laugh because they know that soon, very soon, they will be returned to the streets to rape and maim and kill once again, and yet face no great personal risk to themselves. Mayor Koch has stated that hate and rancor should be removed from our hearts. I do not think so. I want to hate these muggers and murderers. They should be forced to suffer, and when they kill, they should be executed for their crimes. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to keep reading. Now, what in that letter so far states that he wants the Central Park Five to be executed? He's talking about New York. He mentioned all the races: white, black, Hispanic, and Asian. What in that first page of that ad, or the first column, said anything about wanting the Central Park Five to be executed? Absolutely nothing. Yes, it was a time period where crime was on the rise. Even the young children called it wilding. What is wilding? We wilding out. What is wilding? What is it? Is it going to the library and reading books? What is wilding? Is wilding planting flowers in a local garden? What is wilding? Is wilding helping old ladies cross the street? What is wilding? Is wilding picking up trash? What is wilding? So again, the youth gave it a turn. So as crime is on the rise, and clearly it's on the rise if a person can't jog through the park, clearly it's on the rise if the children are doing something they call wilding, clearly there's a problem in the city. But so far in Trump's letter, please tell me where he said he wanted them executed, because he didn't say it. I'm going to keep reading. But so far, we're halfway done, and there's no mention of executing the Central Park Five. But let's continue. They must serve as examples so that others will think long and hard before committing a crime or an act of violence. Yes, Mayor Koch, I want to hate these murderers, and I always will. I am not looking to psychoanalyze or understand them. I am looking to punish them. If the punishment is strong, the attacks on innocent people will stop. I recently watched a newscast trying to explain the anger in these young men. I no longer want to understand their anger. I want them to understand our anger. I want them to be afraid. How can our great society tolerate continued brutalization of its citizens by crazed misfits? Criminals must be told their civil liberties when an attack, criminals must be told that their civil liberties end when attacked on our safety begins. When I was young, I sat in a diner with my father and witnessed two young bullies cursing and threatening a very frightened waitress. Two cops rushed in, lifted up the thugs, and threw them out of the door, warning them never to cause trouble again. I miss the feeling of security New York's finest once gave to the citizens of this city. Let our politicians give back our police department's power to keep us safe. Unshackle them from the constant chant of police brutality, which every petty criminal hurls immediately at an officer who has just risked his or her life to save another's. We must cease our continuous pandering to the criminal population of the city. Give New York back to the citizens who have earned the right to be New Yorkers. Send a message loud and clear to those who would murder our citizens and terrorize New York. Bring back the death penalty and bring back our police. Now, please tell me in that entire ad where he said he wanted the Central Park Five to be executed. I just read what he put. Show me where he said it. This is what I mean when I talk about when you tell these people the truth, if they don't get mad at the person that lied to them, that means they are complicit. So if God comes to you and say, the devil just lied to you, and you get mad at God, then you're complicit with Satan. Nowhere in Trump's ad does it say he's calling for the execution of the Central Park Five. He was very specific in saying that if you kill these innocent people, you deserve the death penalty. Matter of fact, thank you, Keith, he never even mentions the Central Park Five in the ad. He never even mentions the Central Park Five in the ad. So my question is, you've been lied to about the Central Park Five for at least 5 years. My question is, are you going to be mad at all these people that lied to you and continue to lie to you about what Donald Trump said? This is how Satan works. This is how the enemy works. He's clever. He will have you fighting for a lie, but also tell you the truth. So not only does the ad he took out not call for the execution of the Central Park Five, he doesn't even mention them in the ad. So that means that's yet another lie added to the long list of lies about Donald Trump. But yet, folks won't get mad at the folks lying. They're going to get mad at me and they're going to get mad at you. But you know why? It's because they're already complicit with Satan. Listen to me. Before these people start arguing with you all, start arguing with me, before they want to debate me and they want to debate you, they've already made the deal with Satan. The reason why they're doing it is because that's part of the deal with Satan. Go against those that tell the truth. Now, I just read the letter and it's all over line. Now imagine something that's all over line. It's all over online. Imagine something that is online for everyone to read and for everyone to see, and people are still falling for the lie. That means even when the truth is available, folks are going to reject it. We could argue and say, you know what? Well, if Blanche says I don't want to listen, I get it. Or if they say I don't want to listen, I get it. But when the truth is just sitting there by itself and you still don't want it, oh, okay. You're working with Satan now. You've made a deal with Satan. These people know what's going on. They want us to forget the last 4 years. This is why they're pushing and focusing on Kamala. They want us to forget the last 4 years so that they can plead ignorance when round 2 comes. They want to be able to plead ignorance. So what I say is, well, Satan is not clever if you follow Jesus. But Satan is clever to the uninitiated. He absolutely is. Because how the enemy works is he's not going to let you make a decision that's just plain and simple. Do right or do wrong. It's just not how he's going to present it to you. You see, they lied to us and they said Satan's going to come like a roaring beast and a roaring lion, and he's going to come with horns and red and wings flapping and flames, and it's not how he's going to come to you. Most people don't even realize how Satan even appears in front of them. Most folks don't even know that they can do something that is good, do something that is right, and it still be wrong. A person can go out there and say, I'm going to give this homeless person $5. It's a nice thing to do. It's a noble thing to do. You're helping out the poor, giving it to them, but it's wrong. Why is it wrong? Because you know deep down inside, they're going to take that money and use it for something that's bad. This is how the devil works. He'll have you doing something good, but it's really bad. And it's actually good. I'm helping the poor. That's good, but it's actually bad. And so if anybody rejects the truth, they've already made a deal with Satan. They already made a deal with Satan. Satan is not going to come to you all like the movies show you. He's not going to come like that. He's going to be very subtle. When Satan came to Eve, they said he was the most subtle beast in the field. Very unassuming, very non-threatening. So most people, when they're talking to Satan, they already had their guards down. They're already relaxed. Now, if you following Christ, Satan sounds crazy. But if you aren't following Christ, or you in for a rude awakening. So in the areas in your life where you don't have confirmation on, where you're still up in the air about, that's where Satan is going to thrive. So when it comes to identity politics, skin color, race, all that stuff, people are still up in the air on that. Satan is going to thrive in those areas. I would tell black folks right now, if you want to free yourself up, you need to forgive white people for all past atrocities, then forgive yourself for your atrocities. You need to go back in history and forgive George Washington, forgive Thomas Jefferson, forgive the founding fathers, forgive every slave owner, and then go back and forgive the slaves for being enslaved. And then go back and forgive the black folks for owning slaves. And then go back and forgive Native Americans for owning slaves. And then go back and forgive the other white people for having white slaves. And then ask God to forgive you. Because in the eyes of God, you all are sinners. And I ain't even saying that slavery was a sin, because many people had debts to pay off and they used their labor. So I ain't even gonna say that's a sin. That's called being fair. You don't have any money, you don't have any goods, you don't have any services, you're gonna offer your labor up to get your freedom. It makes sense. You owe a debt. Now, slavery is morally wrong, but we can't sit there and make it morally wrong when white people do it, but then say it's a product of racism when black folks do it. We can't do that. So at the end of the day, we have to forgive everyone and also ask for forgiveness. And then the last stage is forgiving yourself, not condemning yourself. Because once God has forgiven you, then you shouldn't be condemning yourself, which is what most people do. They ask for forgiveness and then still condemn themselves. No. Right. Somebody said, forgive Africa for selling you. So the point I'm making is that you got to let all this stuff go. It is 2024. Nobody is holding you back. Nobody is oppressing you. Nobody. If it was true that black people were oppressed, then black women wouldn't have such high standards. What do you mean, Blanche? I mean, black women expect a black man that earns six figures, that is 6 feet, and has a six-pack. Black women still expect a man, under all this oppression, all this racism, to still earn six figures. The fact that black women still have an expectation of Superman coming to save them lets you know America couldn't be racist. If that was truly the case, that America was racist, then black women would be saying, I just want a black man that's alive. If America was truly racist, then a black woman would say, I just want a black man with a pulse. The black man has to go through so much that if he's alive, I'll take it. That ain't what they saying. That ain't what they saying. Black women are saying, I want a high value man. Black women are saying, I want a high value black man. For a high value black man to exist in America, that means that racism doesn't exist. I've never heard the term high value applied to white men. I've never heard the term high value applied to Asian men. I've never heard the term high value applied to Hispanic men. I've only heard the term high value applied to black men. So again, if America was truly racist, there is no way on God's green earth that black women would expect a black man to be Superman. There's no way. She would have the lowest expectations for a black man. Girl, I just want him to be alive. Girl, he can read. Y'all standards would be so low. Girl, he can walk. Like y'all, if America was truly what they say it is, black women would have the lowest standards. Not saying they don't, but they would have the lowest standards when it comes to men. So when they got on these podcasts, they will be saying, listen, girl, he's alive and that's good enough for me. They ain't talking like that. Black women go on that first date, they want the surf and turf. Black women ain't saying, listen, black man, this is our first date. I know it's racism. I know you've been oppressed. I know it's hard. We ain't got to go to a restaurant. Let's just go walk in the park. Let's just go walk in the field and pretend like it was back in slavery. If America was truly racist and oppressive, then black women wouldn't expect lobster and steak on the first date. Black women would never say, don't take me to Cheesecake Factory. If America was racist and oppressing black men, there's no way on God's green earth that black women would say, here goes my list of restaurants you can't take me to on the first date. Black women would say, listen, my king, all you got to do is just show up. I'll take care of the rest. They ain't saying that. So black women expect for black men to still be successful in this racist America. is cap. It's cap. So anyway, we read the Trump ad, and the Trump ad not only does not ask for the execution of the Central Park Five, but it doesn't even mention the Central Park Five. Let's continue. Thank you, Sig Thom. Sig Thom says, and on top of that, and they wouldn't be dating thugs and scammers. If the police was hunting black men, she would encourage him to live honestly. Exactly. See, black women will let you know whether or not America's racist. Black women do too much bragging in America for it to be racist. Black women talking about their goddesses, their queens, entrepreneurs, their boss chicks. Black women have too much confidence and too much bragging for America to be racist. So like Sig just said, if America was truly oppressing black men and the police were hunting them, there would be campaigns of black women talking about black men do the right thing, black men live right. That ain't what black women saying. Black women say, I don't care how you get it. I want the 6 figures. Better yet, I want the 7 figures. I want the Birkin bag. Black women ain't saying they want freedom. Black women say they want the Birkin bag. Ain't nothing more free than a black woman. Ain't nothing more free than a black woman. You can't nobody tell a black woman could be 1,000% in the wrong and expect not to get arrested. 1,000% in the wrong and expect not to get fired. The fact that black women don't have no accountability should let you know America's not racist. Tell a black woman she's wrong and see what happens. See how well she takes it. Tell her. Go to a black woman and say, listen, man, you're wrong. Tell her, see what happened. See what happened. So again, black women have snitched on America. America ain't racist. Because if it was, black women wouldn't have any reputations of black men. They'd be like, girl, he's alive, girl, that's good enough for me. He made it through the system, girl, that's good. Come on. Who are we kidding? Who are we fooling? Let's continue. It is American privilege. Jay Blue said, she said, America is racist. Who else supports Ukrainian Nazis, even welcomes into Congress? Their support for apartheid in Israel are a bunch of Europeans from the Caucasus region of Europe claiming to be Palestinian. Well, if you could, you put it that way. Sig says, brag about cussing people out left and right, but then play victim and need protection. Right. Some people in America, leadership is corrupt. I'm not going to hate on my country. That's what propaganda needs. Exactly. America isn't racist. There may be folks in America that are racist, but America itself is not racist. If it was, do y'all realize that black people are represented in every facet of society, from president to homeless? Do y'all realize that black people are represented in every facet of society? Go to India and tell me if the lower classes are represented at the top. Go to any other country and tell me where the lowest class is at the top. America's not racist at all. But let's continue. Let's continue.
Sound too black. I look young, but I'm 17.
That's young.
I look younger than I am, okay?
I'm Drew, I'm 21.
Ethan Harisi, I'm 18.
Khalil Harris, I'm 15.
I'm Marquise Rodriguez, I'm 22.
Do you all believe that you're perceived as a threat?
Right here, right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the time.
Being from the Bronx, like I'm definitely blessed to say that I've never been handcuffed or I've been thrown to the ground by a police officer, but sometimes it's that subtlety that hurts the most. I was walking to school one day and two officers came up to me and said, "Where are you headed? Can I see what's in your backpack?" And it's just something that small that affects you for a very long time. Then I'm asking myself, what do I look like? Like, do I look like a criminal?
What frustrates me the most about that is like we are not allowed as children of color to be kids. You should have been able to go to school at 8 a.m. and take your test and focus on that, but you couldn't.
I couldn't.
And that, like, you literally had hours of your day robbed from you.
This is why when it comes to entertainment, for Black people, it's programming. Because even the actors are saying they're experiencing what the characters they're playing are experiencing in the project. This is why entertainment for Black people is programming. It's not entertainment. Because what they show you on film, they reinforce in real life. So that means that the same script that the Hollywood director gives or producer gives to the cast is the same script that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris give to America. This man just said because the police asked to see what was in his bag, that's racism? What if there was somebody loose on the street with a backpack that just shot somebody? You see, what people don't want to say is that 99% of the time, the police aren't catching criminals. What's happening is someone is calling the police and telling them that Pookie and Ray Ray are terrorizing the community. Y'all don't realize how many calls the mayor gets, how many calls the police chief gets, or the sergeant gets about what's going on in these Black communities, how much terrorizing is going on. So when you see the old lady saying, "Good morning, baby," she's calling the police on you, dummy. Tell your mama that I said, "Hey," she's calling the police, dummy. The police ideal day is to sit in that patrol car and y'all do what y'all supposed to do. Or walk that beat and y'all do what y'all supposed to do. That's ideal for a police officer. But then they got 1,000 calls about Pookie and Ray Ray. Then they got 1,000 calls that say, I know that John shot up the block. Can we get your name? No, I don't want to get killed. At the end of the day, these police officers are getting called. You think these citizens are letting y'all commit crime and they ain't saying nothing? Are you crazy? Y'all know good and well that Black folks couldn't hold water in a swimming pool. Black people tell a lot. Part of Black culture is telling. So again, he asked you to see what was in your bag for a reason. You don't know what's going on. You're just so selfish and so Black, so narcissistic. Police ain't thinking about you, boy. You an actor in Hollywood. How'd you make it? Let's play it again.
My name is Santi Black. I look young, but I'm 17.
That's young.
I look younger than I am, okay?
I'm Jerome, 21.
Ethan Harisi, I'm 18.
Khalil Harris, I'm 15.
I'm Marquise Rodriguez, I'm 22.
Do you all believe that you're perceived as a threat? Right here, right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the time.
Being from the Bronx, like I'm definitely blessed to say that I've never been handcuffed or I've been thrown to the ground by a police officer, but sometimes it's that subtlety that hurts the most. I was walking to school one day and two officers.
Sometimes it's the subtlety that hurts the most. What? What? Prudence says, what did Prudence say? She said the subtlety affects him most. If racism is subtle, it's not. Like, give me an example, somebody, please, of subtle racism. Give it to me. What is subtle racism? What is a micro? Tell me what is subtle racism? Jarrell said, he said, hell, I'm white and I've been cuffed 10 plus times. Doesn't make him privileged. Well, he said, doesn't that make him privileged? Exactly. So we got a white guy saying, I've been cuffed over 10 times, but he hasn't ever been cuffed. Is he privileged? Everybody would say no. This man said it's the subtlety. Can someone give me an example of subtle racism? Actions speak volumes, and you say racism doesn't exist, denial is a disease. Give me an example of racism. Can someone give me an example of racism? You can't say that the Biden administration giving the Ukraine money and giving the Afghans money and giving Israel money is racism when you vote them in office. You can't say that America's racist when you're voting these people in office. You don't care about racism. This is what black folks do. Black folks want to make the most egregious decision, and then when the consequence comes, they want to point to some figure in the sky. The evil white dragon of racism, breathing out bad credit scores on all the black people. So at the end of the day, black people are campaigning for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris telling them to kill their baby. It's not racism if you want what they're offering. Black women have stated, we want to be able to kill our baby. Kamala Harris said, I'll raise you. We're going to kill them. If they make it out the womb, we're going to transition them. That ain't racism. That's giving black people what they want. You can't name a time in history where black folks haven't complained to white people and did not get their demands met. Name me a point in history where black folks wasn't crying and complaining and white folks didn't say, okay. Tell me when. Every time black folks have complained, white folks have given them what they wanted. The problem is what black folks want. So you can't say racism and y'all are asking for it. You can't say police brutality, but y'all lead the nation in homicide. It's not how that works. So you can't say we don't want the police around so we can kill more. That's not racism. It's called black culture. So at the end of the day, these elites, these governments are giving black people what they asked for. They ain't forced nothing on the people. They have not forced anything on the people. Black people chose it. I read a report that talked about how much media and TV black folks consumed. And when black folks were interviewed and asked what did they want to see changed in media and in social media, black folks said we want to see ourselves more. Black folks didn't say we portrayed bad. It's programming, it's propaganda. That ain't what black folks said. Black folks watch more TV and social media 40% more than any other race on the planet. And when they were asked what they want to see different, black folks didn't say we're portrayed wrong. They didn't say it's programming. They didn't say propaganda. Black folks said we want to see ourselves on TV more, in films more, on social media more. So it can't be no racism if they're giving black people what they want. You're getting what you asked for. Black folks ain't asking for freedom from the government. They're asking for more government. Black folks aren't asking for limited government. They're asking for more government. Umar Johnson said the government should nationalize every industry. Black folks love Umar. Kamala Harris said she's going to manipulate the market and set prices. Black folks love Kamala. Barack Obama said LGBTQ for the world. Black folks love Obama. So again, you can't call it racism if it's what you're asking for. So now, tell me what's racist about America. They still on sale, Kaza. I still got the shirts on sale. They're not counting on ignorance. Black people are not ignorant. When you talk to black people, they know you're telling them the truth. Black people lack character. It's not an ignorance issue. They're playing on black people's lack of character. That's the issue. Black culture says you don't have to have morals or standards. Just be black. These folks can't even tell you what Kamala's done that's good. But they can tell you what Trump did that's bad. That ain't ignorance. That's called picking and choosing. Let's continue. But again, can somebody tell me what subtle racism is? Black people aren't qualified to say what racism is. Black people lead the world in abortion. That disqualifies you, black people. I'm talking about racism. Black men lead the world in homicide. You can't talk about racism. Black children can't read or write or do math on grade level. You can't talk about racism because you're proving that you don't know what racism even is because you're participating in what you're calling racism. Let's continue.
Officers came up to me and said, "Where are you headed? Can I see what's in your backpack?" And it's just something that small that affects you for a very long time. Then I'm asking myself, what do I look like? Like, do I look like a criminal?
What?
Do I look like a criminal? You look stupid. How about that? You look stupid. That's all. Maybe they stopped you. Maybe the cops made a bet. And one of the cops said, I bet he ain't got no books in the book bag. Other cops said, I bet he got a gun in there. Let's bet. You look stupid. You just said it was the subtlety because they looked in your bag.
What frustrates me the most about that is like we are not allowed as children of color to be kids. You should have been able to go to school at 8 a.m. and take your test and focus on that, but you couldn't.
I couldn't.
And that, like, you literally had hours of your day robbed from you.
Hours of his day. It took 30 seconds to look in his bag. Okay, have a good day at school. So you mean to tell me black people are so weak that the police asked to look in their backpack, they can't pass a test? Are y'all that weak? You mean to tell me the police ask you to do something and it ruins your whole day? Are you that weak, black people? Are y'all that soft and pathetic? Tell me it's not so. Let's continue. Let's continue.
If you are a Marxist slash communist slash socialist aficionado, why wouldn't you ask the Obamas to provide you with a monthly stipend? Why wouldn't you ask the Obamas to donate multiple tens of millions to the Black community as a whole, even though there is no such thing as a Black community? But why wouldn't you ask that? I mean, you know, money is money. Why is it that it's only the rich white folk that need to give everybody else their money, but it's the rich white folk that are building companies that are employing you? And
that's Layer Love Online. Now, somebody on here, he says, you don't know his past experience. The guy said, I've never been arrested, never had handcuffs put on me, never been thrown to the ground. So that means he hasn't had a bad experience with the police. The police asked to look in his backpack one time. So his past experience was good with the police. Again, when you present Black folks with the truth, what they're going to counter it with is a lie. This isn't about Black people being ignorant or not knowing. This is a character issue. The boy just said, or the young man just said, I've never been arrested, handcuffed, thrown on the ground, none of that. One time I was asked, the police asked to look at my book bag before I went to school. That's it. So you mean to tell me that that incident justifies police brutality? It's crazy. It's crazy. My cousin making a joke. She in the house. She might be. Are you here? I don't know. Look at this person. See what I mean? This person said the first experience is enough. And if the police don't have a right to look in your backpack when they're getting some on the wire talking about suspect running around with a backpack, suspect 5'8", brown skin running around with a backpack, I can't look in y'all are, but again, it's not about ignorance. It's not about information. It's a lack of character. He's already made a deal with Satan. He's already said, Satan told him, listen, part of this deal is when you hear the truth, now you got to reject it. When you hear the truth, you got to reject it. And this is why I say that Black folks are going back into slavery. There's a fourth industrial revolution that we are in right now. You have not heard one Democrat mention that to Black people. We got a whole digital regime coming. We got AI, we got computer chips, we got all this technology coming. And they're telling Black folks to focus on voting rights and police brutality and Donald Trump. We got a fourth industrial revolution that's here, and Black children can't read or write and do math on grade level. Listen to me. We have a fourth industrial revolution that's here that's going to require you all to be able to read and write and do math. And Black children are behind every other child. And this person on my live is telling me the experience is enough. But listen, Black folks ain't going to make it. They're not going to make it. And they're not going to make it not because they don't have the capacity to make it or capabilities, they don't have enough character to make it. Because Black culture says reject the truth. Let me play it again.
If you are a Marxist slash communist slash socialist aficionado, why wouldn't you ask the Obamas to provide you with a monthly stipend? Why wouldn't you ask the Obamas to donate multiple tens of millions to the Black community as a whole, even though there is no such thing as a Black community? But why wouldn't you ask that? I mean, you know, money is money. Why is it that it's only the rich white folk that need to give everybody else their money, but it's the rich white folk that are building companies that are employing you. And
again, like I said earlier, most Black people, because 97% of Black businesses don't have any employees. So Black people are employed by white people. So what Black folks are saying is, not all, so you employing us isn't good enough. We also want you to give us socialism. All these rich Black folks running around here, and Black folks don't ask them for nothing. All these Black folks getting rich off of the souls of Black people. All these folks in entertainment and sports and Hollywood and media and all, these folks are getting rich off your soul because they're giving you propaganda. They're lying to you. They're destroying your mind. They're taking that from you. So you're paying these people with your soul, and you never ask them to pay it back. Leah brings up a good point. Why y'all not asking the Obamas for money? Michelle Obama said that her mother told her that she didn't trust anybody that took more than they need. But Big Mike has 4 mansions. Connect that dot for me. Y'all are clapping her mother saying, I don't trust somebody that wants more than they need or takes more than they need. But her daughter, so they say, has 4 mansions. So again, it's not an information issue. It's not an intelligence issue. It's a character issue. Somebody said, what is the solution, Blanchard? The solution is for you to repent. The solution is for you to repent and turn from your wicked ways and stop lying. Stop working for Satan. Stop lying. Stop being a heathen, a degenerate. Submit your life to Christ. Stop lying about the Black experience. Stop lying on America. Stop lying on Trump. Stop lying on the police. Stop lying. It's a simple fix. Have some character, have some honor. The solution is you not being a scumbag. That's it. Stop being a scumbag. The solution is for you to not be a degenerate. That's the solution. Stop being a coward. Stop being weak. Stop being soft. Stop being a degenerate scumbag. Stop working for Satan. Now, I guarantee I gave him a solution and watch him reject it. I just told him the truth. Watch him reject it. He already said, that's not it. I'm just telling you. Let's continue.
Like I told you, all these movies we watch, that shit condition us. It paints our reality. All that shit, the BMF and all that. You watching these people, you like I say, when you see somebody on BMF get their brains blowed out, your brain can't decipher the difference between what's real and what's fake. They know that. They why you think man, you'll never see them make a movie where Jewish people killing each other like that.
No.
It'll never happen. So people like 50 Cent, people like Tyler Perry, no disrespect to them, but they're pawns. They're using them to get to our people. Money is fake. They can give them $100 million. That don't mean nothing. We want y'all to keep carrying out these duties.
Have y'all noticed that they don't even make prison movies anymore? You know why? Because they were showing all of the, remember they used to have it was a period in the 80s and 90s where they would have a prison scene where they would show, young men getting taken advantage of, getting violated. They don't show it anymore. You know why? Because it's a negative stigma on the LGBTQ community. They know that in prison, 100% of the sexual assaults are committed by homosexuals. They don't even discuss prison because it implicates the LGBTQs. So look at what they're doing. Lil Nas X did a video in prison. Dude was naked in the shower. Y'all loved it. When it comes to entertainment for Black people, it's not. It's programming. It's not entertainment. What they show you is to reinforce what they've told you. You don't get a recess from being Black. The same propaganda that's being spit by Kamala and all the Democrats and the libtards is the same stuff that Hollywood is saying. Same that the news media is saying or social media. Y'all don't get a break from this. This is every day, all day, nonstop, constant programming. You're getting it every day, all day. And then somebody will talk about, because what you mentioned has nothing to do with me. It does. You are no different than any other lost Black person out there. You are no different. You are the exact same. You have been filled with programming and propaganda. You are no different. You see yourself as a victim. White folks are evil. It's the same script. Police are bad. Trump is bad. I can give you the same script. You are no different than the millions of lost Black souls out there. You are no different. You're not special. You are just as dumbed down and low vibrational as the rest of them. You are no different. I'm going to make that clear. You are no different. You share the same mind as a libtard. You are obligatory Black, and that's just it. You ain't special. The thoughts in your head aren't revolutionary. They aren't transcending. You have the same brain as the rest of these Nimrods out here. You are nothing but a citizen of the Tower of Babel. You're just on the bottom floor working, that's all. You're on the first floor working on the Tower of Babel. You are no different. Y'all all share the same mind.
I told you, man, when the world do something to you so long and consistently, you start to do it to yourself. And that's a conditioning. You become a part of the partnership and don't even know it. You're a collaborator now. Welcome to the team.
Dang.
We conditioned you to help self-destruct your own people.
Dang.
That's what we call silent weapons for quiet war.
And again, I forgot this guy's name. I think it's Papa Duck. I think it's Papa Duck or something. But he's talking about the programming. And he's talking about how these Black folks in Hollywood are complicit. Like these folks, listen, these Black folks in the industry, they get these scripts and all this stuff, and they know this stuff is wrong. They know it's a lie, but they want the check. So it's funny that I get accused of getting a check from white people, which I don't. These folks actually get a check from these Jews and these white folks, and y'all give them praise. So again, this person telling me they're not brain washed. They are. You ain't got no revolutionary thought. The thoughts in these people's heads is what the media is saying. You don't have any counter media thoughts. You don't have any counter media thoughts. You've been programmed. You've been conditioned. On the Black Star album with Mos Def and Talib Kweli, your condition has been conditioned. You programmed. That's all. You are programmed.
You excited about Kamala Harris running for president?
Yeah, I am.
Absolutely. 100%.
I am excited.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
What was your favorite accomplishment of hers as VP of the United States?
Honestly, I can't answer that question.
You know, honestly, that's a good question. I can't really say specifically.
I can't, you know, I'm humble there.
I can't think of anything, specifically.
I don't know. Sorry.
I don't know. I haven't really been following politics.
Now, again, in order to promote Kamala Harris, you have to lie. You got to be deceitful. You got to be dishonest. You know, Trump has a track record. And I'm going to discuss on an upcoming show about the economics of America, because D. Blade Ford lays this stuff out very well about the economic state when Trump was president. All factual information, none of this. So again, in order to support Kamala Harris, you have to make a deal with Satan. These folks are confident in telling you to vote for Kamala Harris, but when you ask them what she's done, they don't know. See, look at this person. Now look what they did. I tell you, listen. Now they saying that I have y'all in bondage. Listen to me. I'm telling you this right now. I'm gonna say it again. The average black person is already in a reprobate state. They've already been given over. These people have no idea of what's going on. All these folks are going to tell you to know this and know that and be sovereign and all that. What good is being sovereign going to do when your country doesn't have a constitution? What good is being sovereign going to do when you're under one world government? When your country leader signs over the country to the one world government? What good is he going to do? There's going to be one flag. And if you wave any other flag, you'll get your head blown off. These people claim the system is so corrupt, but they trust that same system to respect their sovereignty. How stupid could you be? How dumb could you be? On one hand, you're saying this system is corrupt. Then you're saying that same system is going to honor my rights. How stupid could you be? How dumb and ignorant could you be? It's crazy. The system is bad, it's corrupt, but that same system is going to honor my flag. Are you nuts? Are you all insane? You're not insane. You're not nuts. You're just black. Whether you say it or not, it doesn't matter. You can say indigenous. You can say sovereign. You can say foundational Black America. You can say, Black indigenous person of color. You can say Moor, Hebrew Israelite. You can give it all kind of titles. But the core of who you are is black. It's black. These people actually think they're going to be able to go into a court that is made up of the people who are a part of the one world government and be successful. Dear black people, you don't understand communism. You don't understand communism. Who is the young man? Do I have that? Let me see. Give you all an example of communism, just to let you silly people learn about what's really going on. Who knows the young man's name that was in Korea, North Korea, and got caught? what's his name? He was in prison in North Korea. And this is a lesson for black people. What's the guy's name? The guy's name is... What was the guy's name? Not Andrew Tate, no. His name is... It was 2017. Otto. So there's a video of, let me pull it up. Let me try to find it. I want you to, so y'all can understand communism, because black people don't understand communism. So I'm gonna give y'all an example of it, so y'all can understand how this thing works. Because y'all don't understand. You think you're gonna be able to be sovereign and do all this stuff, and it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. Let me see this. It's happening.
People of government of the DPR Korea for your forgiveness. Please, I have made the worst mistake of my life.
Warmbier reads a statement saying he committed a crime in the eyes of North Korea, taking down a pro-regime political banner from the staff area of a hotel.
Please, act to save me. Please, think of my family.
CNN cannot verify if Warmbier was forced to read from a script, but Kim Jong-un's regime has made others do the same.
I think he's under great duress. He knows what's transpired in the past with other Americans who have been held for significant periods of time. He has no one to seek counsel to.
Warmbier was on an organized tour when he was detained by the North Koreans on January 2nd. North Korean officials say he was encouraged to steal the banner by a Methodist church in his native Ohio and by the Z Society, a philanthropic organization at the University of Virginia whose members' names are secret. Pyongyang says the group has ties to the CIA. The Ohio Church and the Z Society say they have no connections with Warmbier nor the CIA. The tour operator, Young Pioneer Tours, hasn't commented on Warmbier's strange news conference. Other tour operators tell CNN they pound the message home to their American clients. Don't do anything to provoke the North Koreans, such as taking pictures of soldiers.
Don't take a picture with your hands in your pocket. Before we enter any museum, there is typically a mural of the leadership of the countries, and tourists are expected to give it a brief bow on.
So as you can see, I'm trying to find the video where he confessed, but this is what communists do. They have you go into court and they get you to, and dear black people, they're going to have you go into a court somewhere and you're going to think you're going to be free if you admit to what they tell you to do. Because your culture says that lying has no consequence. So you already been primed and ready and conditioned. So you're going to think, okay, if I do what these folks say do, they're going to make a good deal with me. They're going to let me go. What the communists are going to do is they're going to get you all to admit to something you didn't do. And then once you admit to it, they're going to kill you. This is how Satan works. They tell you, listen, if you read this, this will be very good for you. if you read this, this is very good for you. This may get you home. Just read this and you may get to go home. This is communism. And you think you can make a deal with the devil and it's going to turn out well. Now, you went over to communist Korea and tried to steal something. Because again, Americans don't understand what communism is. They know it from movies. This is communism. You went over to Korea and you tried to take a poster to bring back here to make a point about how communist North Korea is. But you don't realize that in a communist country, everybody's watching you. And guess what? They're going to snitch. So now you try to steal a poster, you get caught, and they're telling you that it's punishable by 15 years hard labor. Ain't no trial. Ain't no court. 15 years for taking a poster. And when I read it, it said he tried to take it. He didn't even take it. Let's read it. Somebody telling me that I got to wake up. But the same folks telling me to wake up are telling you that they're going to be able to be sovereign under a one world government. The same folks telling me to wake up are telling you that they're being sovereign and knowing the laws are going to protect them from the very people they claim are going to break the laws. It's absolutely insane. Warmbier was scheduled to undertake a study abroad program in Hong Kong in early 2016 and decided to visit North Korea en route over the New Year period. He booked a tour of North Korea with Young Pioneers Tours, a budget tour operator based in China, founded by two Westerners, whose slogan was, "Destinations your mother would rather you stayed away from." Warmbier's father, Fred, said that Young Pioneer advertised the trip as safe for U.S. citizens and that Otto was curious about their culture. He wanted to meet the people of North Korea. On December 29, 2015, Warmbier flew via Beijing to North Korea with his tour group, which included 10 other U.S. citizens, for a 5-day New Year's tour. The tour group celebrated New Year's Eve by carousing in Pyongyang's Kim's a Song Square before returning to Yanggangdo International Hotel, where some continued drinking alcohol. According to his trial, Warmbier tried to steal a propaganda poster from a staff-only area of the hotel at around 2 a.m. on New Year's Day. So again, all of this happened because Warmbier made a deal with Satan. Who you think told him to go to the staff-only area in a communist country and try to steal something? Listen to me. This man got 15 years for trying to steal something. So along with Black people, Americans have no idea of what communism is. They don't care about you being Black. They don't care about you being white. They care about you following the rules. They care about you being a slave to the state. That's what they care about. Not your nationality, not your identity, not your gender, not your skin color. They care about your allegiance to the state.
On their way in. Warmbier is being held at a time of high tension with Kim Jong-un's regime, following his nuclear and rocket tests, leading some to ask if tonight this student is also a pawn.
They're using this now to sort of get on the front pages to open themselves up to a dialogue not with respect to the nuclear or missile programs and the sanctions that are being applied to North Korea, but now to a humanitarian issue. This is in their interest to change the subject.
And while Kim's regime is playing this high-stakes game, Otto Warmbier's family is making a personal appeal to Kim Jong-un, issuing a statement saying Otto has apologized for anything he might have done wrong, urging Kim's regime to consider his youth and allow him to return home. Wolf?
Brian, at least one former North Korean detainee in American has made clear after his release that he made a confession under duress, right?
That's right, Wolf. This man, Merrill Newman, an 85-year-old man from California, he'd been held in North Korea in 2013 after mentioning while he was on a tour that he had fought in the Korean War. Now, after his release, Newman said his confession was not made voluntarily. He said to demonstrate that he was reading it under duress, he emphasized the bad grammar, the strange language that the North Koreans had crafted for him.
I'm the household CFO, managing where
hotel in North Korea.
Please save my life. Please think of my family.
To steal a propaganda that may have cost questions unanswered. This is the action that may have cost this college junior his life. Then 21-year-old Otto Warmbier attempting to steal a propaganda poster from a hotel in North Korea.
Please save my life. Please think of my family.
What followed was a tearful confession and a sentence to 15 years of hard labor. 17 months later, Warmbier was carried off a plane on U.S. soil, unable to walk, talk, or respond to verbal commands.
We're thrilled that our son is on American soil, and I'm able to talk to you on Otto's behalf, and I'm able to wear the jacket that he wore when he gave his confession.
Today, just 6 days after that, Warmbier died. His parents writing in a statement, Otto has completed his journey home.
Thank you very much.
President Donald Trump promptly weighing in.
At least we got him home to be with his parents, where they were so happy to see him, even though he was in very tough condition. It's a brutal regime, and we'll be able to handle it.
It is not yet clear what impact.
So Otto gave that confession. I'm going to read what happened to him. On March 16, 2016, a few hours after U.S. envoy Bill Richardson met in New York with two North Korean diplomats from the United Nations office to press for Warmbier's release, Warmbier was tried and convicted in North Korea's Supreme Court. He was charged with subversion under Article 60 of North Korea's Criminal Code. The court held that he had committed a crime pursuant to the U.S. government's hostile policy towards North Korea in a bid to impair the unity of its people after entering it as a tourist. Evidence at his trial, which lasted 1 hour, included his confession, CCTV footage, fingerprint evidence, and witness testimony. The CCTV footage showed a man, identified as Warmbier by a North Korean guide, entering the staff-only area. On March 18th, KCNA released a brief low-resolution video time-stamped at 1:57 a.m. showing a figure removing a poster from a wall and placing it on the floor. Warmbier indicated in his confession that he abandoned the poster after discovering it was too large to carry away. A hotel staff member told the court, "When I got off work, there was nothing amiss, but when I returned, I thought someone had deliberately taken the slogan down, so I mobilized security to prevent damage to it and reported it to the authorities." His confession reads as follows: "I never should have allowed myself to be lured by the United States administration to commit a crime in this country. I wish the United States administration never manipulated people like myself in the future to commit crimes against foreign countries. I entirely beg you, the people in government of the DPRK, for your forgiveness. Please, I made the worst mistake of my life." Warmbier was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. Human Rights Watch called the hearing a kangaroo court and described his sentencing as outrageous and shocking. Again, this is communism. It's communism. The people cared more about the poster than this young man's life. The people care more about the symbol of Kamala than the country. The people care more about the poster than this young man's life. The people care more about seeing Kamala as president than the actual destruction of America. That's communism. That's communism. Because the folks in the hotel are terrified if they come back and something is missing. That's communism. So black folks think they want America to be communist because they believe that white folks are going to be inconvenienced by communism. They don't realize that communists don't care about how they look. So again, people care more about the poster in North Korea than they care about a person's life. Folks in America care more about the symbolism of Kamala Harris being president than they actually care about their actual freedoms. So again, this isn't an issue of intelligence. It's an issue of character, of morality. These people aren't good people. Anybody telling you that America's racist, they aren't a good person. Anybody telling you that it's the police fault, it's not a good person. Because I guarantee if you go into their life, you're going to find many areas where it don't line up. Warmbier's physicians at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center stated that he was in a state of unresponsive wakefulness, commonly known as persistent vegetative state. He was able to breathe on his own and blink his eyes, but otherwise showed no signs of awareness of his environment, such as understanding language, nor did he initiate any purposeful movements. Medical records from North Korea showed that Warmbier had been in the state since April of 2016, 1 month after his conviction. During his release, the North Koreans provided a disc containing 2 magnetic resonance imaging brain scans dated April and July of 2016, showing damage to the brain. According to his medical team, brain scans revealed Warmbier has suffered extensive loss of brain tissue through his brain, consistent with cardiopulmonary event that caused the brain to be deprived of oxygen. So they killed him. They killed him because they didn't want him to go back to America running his mouth about communist Korea. So what they did was they made him brain dead and so y'all can have him. That's communism. That's communism. Black people, you are not prepared for communism. You have no idea of what it is.
Are you excited about Kamala Harris running for president?
Yeah, I am.
100%.
I am excited.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
What was your favorite accomplishment of hers as VP of the United States?
Honestly, I can't answer that question.
You know, honestly, that's a good question. I can't really say specifically.
I can't, I'm humble there.
I can't think of anything, specifically.
I don't know. Sorry. I don't know. I haven't really been following politics.
Again, these people are telling you, thank you, MoCoy. Oh yeah, the content of the video that was used is intended for educational and informational purposes only. No copyright infringement intended. This is actually entertainment. So the use of the video was only for education, information, but mostly entertainment. Thank you, Mokor. No copyright infringement is intended.
My perfect world, every Republican is out of the country and all the immigrants come in. That's what I want. I would love everybody who's a Republican to get down. When they say, oh, we hate America, no, we don't. We hate you. We love America. We hate you.
It's not good to hate anyone. I don't hate anyone.
Well, let me ask you a question. If you were an elected official, do you think it might be a good idea to like put these Republican Trump supporting QAnon voters in like re-education facilities and stuff?
Yeah, re-educate them?
Yes.
I have decided we really need camps for adults. And we need the kind of camps that you all run. I mean,
but I also think some of them are believing the garbage that they are being fed 24/7 on the internet by their constituents, and they bought into this big lie. And the question is, how are we going to really almost deprogram these people who have signed up for the cult of Trump?
And the bottom line is all of America needs programming because we've all been negatively influenced by Donald Trump.
There are millions of Americans, almost all white, almost all Republicans, who somehow need to be deprogrammed. It's as if they are members of a cult.
We had programs, federal programs, that went towards funding organizations like these that de-radicalized people, and President Trump pulled the plug. One thing that we know is that we have to get that funding right back up, and we probably need to double, triple, quadruple, or increase funding for these de-radicalization programs.
and sadly, so many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump, who has no credibility left by any measure. He's only in it for himself. He's now defending himself in civil actions and criminal actions. And when do they break with him? Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members.
They also believed that their immediate responsibility would be to protect against what they called the counter-revolution. And they felt that this counter-revolution could best be guarded against by creating and establishing re-education centers in the Southwest.
So, just real quick. So, you heard a bunch of Democrats talking about they are for re-education camps. And again, this is communism. And so again, you cannot make a deal with the devil and it turn out well. So what you have here is you have all these Democrats openly telling you they believe in communism. They all listed re-education camps, indoctrination camps, reprogramming, deprogramming, all of these things. And they're telling you that it's okay because they're following Trump. Now, again, I mentioned Black people have no idea of what communism is. We just saw an example with Otto of what communism actually is. And so these camps, you best believe they're going to start off being for the white people, the Republicans, the conservatives, MAGA, and patriots. But then after they're done with them, they're coming for you all next. You can't make a deal with the devil. I know Black folks have been tricked to believe you can, but you can't. So again, Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, they're all for these camps. If they could, do you believe that Kamala Harris would say indoctrination camps right now? You know she would. Joe Biden would do it. We saw Joe Biden mandating shots and masks and everything. So we know this is par for the course for a Democrat. Here goes the death toll attributed to communism. Joseph Stalin, 20 to 30 million. Mao Zedong, 45 to 70 million. Ho Chi Minh, 500,000 to 1 million. Pol Pot, 1.75 to 2.5 million. Kim Sung, millions, numbers not known. Fidel Castro, thousands to tens of thousands. So again, when you have communism, you have death. When you have communism, you have death. Even the weatherman said, if there's a communist takeover, they're going to have to kill 25 million Americans. Who are they talking about? Who are the 25 million Americans they were talking about? Not black people, not Hispanics, not Asians. Talking about white people. Talking about white folks that would fight against communism. Come on, let's continue.
Where we would take all the people who needed to be re-educated into the new way of thinking and teach them how things were going to be. I ask, well, what is going to happen to those people that we can't re-educate, that are die-hard capitalists? And the reply was that they'd have to be eliminated. And when I pursued this further, they estimated that they would have to eliminate 25 million people in these re-education centers. And when I say eliminate, I mean kill.
So again, so in other words, once you go to the camps, it won't be any re-education. You're going to go there to die. You'll go to the camps to die. You're not going to the camps to get re-educated because you know you're not going to do it. You're going to they're going to destroy you. That's it. So again, people have no idea what communism is. This guy's talking about a book by Steve Phillips called Brown is the New White. I'm going to look it up when I get off. That's all I have for today, you all. Listen, I love y'all. Let me go to these super stickers. Jesus loves you. God bless the chat and Blanche. Keep it going, brother. Thank you so much, you guys. Kaza, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. Rick Hampstead, always a great chat and great show. One love. Thank you, Rick. Cruise Missile, thank you so much for the super sticker. And then MoCoy, the video, the content used in this video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. No copyright infringement intended. Thank you so much. That's all the time we have for today. I'll be going live tonight with I guess Cutting Through the Culture at 7:30. So thank y'all so much for tuning in today. See you all soon later. But yeah, don't let them off the hook. This is part one. I'm gonna do part two this week. But they want us to forget the last 3 years. And they're trying to make us forget with Kamala. It's not going to work. These people have been tyrants. They've been evil. They've been sadistic. They've been deplorable and wicked. I'm not going to forget. They got round two of these shots coming. They got climate change coming. They got all kind of racial false flags coming, all kind of psyops coming. Do not let them lull you back to sleep. It's all a psyop. It's not real. It's a trick. They want you to forget what they did. Listen, I love you all, and I will see you all soon. Thank you.